All right, I will be talking about economic and legal. The net worth is expected to reach over 610 billion in 2021. Many scandals causing companies to pay out millions or billions of dollars for those affected. Big pharma prices increases on medications from 40 to 71% in just 2011 to 2015. 2018, Americans spent $535 on prescription drugs, which increased 50% since 2010. Pharmaceutical companies benefit from research and development tax credits, drugs prices maximize pharma profits. So as wages, Americans spend over 457 billion on prescription drugs every year. As wages for employees is expected to rise 2.5%, many Americans will not be able to afford their medications. Big Pharma is said to be 2/3 of FDA's budget. Vioxx recall is one of the most notable Big Pharma scandals in US history. They had a recall on the painkillers that they produced that caused significant health risks. Many consumers had increased risks of heart attacks and strokes. They estimated that over 27,000 people had either a heart attack or died from this. Johnson & Johnson Company had 20,500 talcum powder lawsuits. Alleging baby powder and other talc products led to ovarian cancer. Pharmaceutical companies receive government assistance in the form of publicly funded basic research and tax breaks, yet the charge for customers for the prices of medicine increased. The federal and R&D tax credit was available to business that attempted to develop new, improved, or technological advanced products or trade processes. They also received a tax deduction for the marketing and advertising expenses. Prescription drug prices increasing rapidly. There are many increases in talc prices. Companies state that prices are high because of the drugs are difficult to manufacture. In reality, they just keep increasing to make more. The ethical and philanthropic side of things. Pharma is one of the top industry corporate donors. Up to 13% of pharma companies give to nonprofit organizations. So with all of the bad that Big Pharma has, there is, I don't know, a bright side. 10 years ago, pharma was the #1 industry in the terms of giving back. Although with all the money that they take from people, they should be giving back. They donated 1.51% of their worldwide sales to charity, that no other sector at the time gave more than 1%. In 2013, the pharmaceutical industry gave 3.25% of its revenue. Pharma doesn't make it known that their industry has much donating as it does, but they might be skeptical about the backlash that industry narcissists who might criticize the amount that they donate compared to how much they actually take in every year.
So the pharmaceutical industry is one area of business that is never going away. People are always going to keep getting sick. There's always going to be new conditions found. And this area of business is only growing. And the companies continue to take actions that aren't in the best interest of public welfare, but in the interest of gaining wealth and having a larger stronghold of the industry. There are very few companies controlling the entire industry and almost creating a monopoly within the system itself. And one action that pharmaceutical companies have taken to remain in their current situation is, as we've already talked about, but they continue to pay out very large sums of money to settle lawsuits. And over the last decade, there's been over $30 billion paid out to settle many allegations, criminal and civil lawsuits for marketing and overcharges to insurance, where one medical professor argued it's the cost of doing business. It just remain within the pharmaceutical industry. It's very rare to see small pharmaceutical companies. They're widely run by the big names, the Eli Lilly, the Johnson & Johnson, many big corporations. And this shows that Big Pharma is concerned with more of the wealth side instead of public welfare. And organizations in the pharmaceutical industry are agreeing to simply pay the settlements instead of admitting their guilt or acknowledging any wrongdoing. And big pharma companies, they continue to use these practices to gain capital despite increasing their prices. And in response to the increase in their drug prices, companies are marketing their drugs even stronger, which is leading to misinformation to the consumers. And salesmen and advertising pushes the drugs into the forefront of consumers' minds while lacking the benefits or the intended use of a certain product or device. And this is causing many issues within society and within the healthcare field in general. And companies are marketing these products for these conditions to simply keep increasing their products and have their stronghold on their share of the market. And the Affordable Care Act has begun requiring Medicare and Medicaid services to collect their information from the manufacturers and group purchasing organizations about their financial relationships with the doctors, with the hospitals. And this data is now being released to the public to make their own decisions about the doctors they choose to use, the hospitals they choose to use. And this is a big step in kind of uncovering some of the information surrounding big pharma and giving the consumers the right to choose what they would like to give their business to if they have the option. And the reputation and customer perception has been an issue surrounding big pharma for a long time. And they seem to not want to advertise their efforts and work with partners. And the companies have taken very few steps to improve the accessibility to customers, and they continue to inflate prices excessively despite pushback, with all actions being capital with little regard to public welfare and potential backlash. And there's a lot of things that need to be changed about big pharma, and they're very big, very monumental things that these little steps can help push in the direction to make pharmaceutical products more accessible to the common good. And one thing that would help in that direction is increasing transparency within the entire industry. And companies lack justification for their price increases, as well as lacking clear information regarding their products. And this can cause some consumers to make decisions with insufficient information, leading to uneducated decisions about their own health care. And the information deficit stems from a lack of regulation within the industry and causing decisions made without the public knowledge, despite the effect that it has on society. And there needs to be clear guidelines to protect the interest of consumers and their ability to make an informed decision regarding their own health care. There have been many instances where consumers are misled regarding a drug, leading to the misuse of the product. With such a heavy advertising on certain drugs, consumers do lack information to see the benefits and limitations of a product. And some companies advertise their products even though they're not approved by the FDA or in accordance with state protection laws. And there needs to be a standard within advertising that protects the well-being of the customer, and that should be in the forefront. And this can also come with an increased regulation within the industry. Doctors are extensively influenced by big pharma in prescribing the certain products. And this can influence the treatment of a patient when a doctor is more prone to recommend certain drugs to please a pharmaceutical affiliate. This not only compromises the health of the public, but the integrity of the doctor. Action should be taken to limit the bias of doctors in prescribing drugs, and this can stem from the collegiate level. Efforts to stop this have been discussed and should be an important part about educating medical students.
And that is our presentation.